Well, hello there, folks, and welcome to session 105 of the Tides of Chaos. I am, of course, your DM of Doom, Oops All Brands, or World Tree Quests here on Twitch and YouTube. And with me today, we've got three or four of my lovely cast. We've got Charlie 182.0, we've got Just Dan, and we've got Big Gilly Styles. We have a new layout as well, so forgive me if anything goes wrong, because I made new things.
I think it's cute. I like it.
Yeah, it's pretty
The
cool.
little, like flames all around.
Yeah, let's get more of a piratey vibe. Considering the fact that the last layout we had, I swapped to when we went into the locker, and we've been out of there for a hot minute, so like,
literal years.
Just a little bit. So yeah, this is a bit of an update for us. Keep a fresh face on it, you know. Do I have any housekeeping that I want to talk about? Not really, other than the fact that I'm going to be at PAX Unplugged this year again. So if anybody's going to be there and you're walking around and you see me, I'll be walking around with a World Tree Quests tank top on. Come and talk to me. It'll be fun. I'm also going to be there running games with this really cool company. I don't know how much I'm allowed to speak to them about, so I need to ask my boss about that. But yeah, I'll be there with a company. So if you want to play some games, chat to me. We'll play games. Other than that, I don't know what I'm allowed to say, so I'm going to continue on. What is that I usually ask there? Oh yeah, guys. I know it's been a month, but what happened last session?
So after defeating Voltog at Potar Rock, we discovered that the Tarask we were fighting was actually a true polymorph druid under mind control. Not just any druid, one of the eldest druids, a character who has been seen in the forming Barry. The Furbolg. So he is so old he doesn't even speak the common tongue. He just knows Druidic. So we went to Silas Grove and discovered that it was healing remarkably, and also that there were druids who had found their way there, who were to that extent a part of Silas's new tribe. So 4 druids are present, 6 now, at the at the Grove of Stars. Yeah. And we have yet to meet 2 of them. But it was a lot of RP. It was a very RP heavy session with a lot of discussion on different backstory beats and how we got to where we are and what we're trying to do going forward. It was ultimately decided that Talus and Leonid would leave early. They are trying to get through these super magic special books that will give them access to powers that will help us all in the long run. And they're also going to help Leonid tie up some loose ends with his good old buddy and pal, Muhammad. Not that he's devoted to him or anything. It's not like a cleric or anything. Just they're just buddies.
We're just friends.
Yeah. They're not exclusive.
Drinking friends. They went to college together.
Yeah.
They were roommates.
And they were roommates.
Oh my god.
But like not in the way you think. And it is friends with benefits, but it's not the benefits that you think.
Right.
I don't want. Listen,
He's part of
I'm not
Celestial now.
so basic as to frick a dragon. Okay, like come on.
Come on. That's for the fan fiction.
If someone writes it, I will read it.
And on that note,
yeah. So
World Tree Quest merch.
there we go. Wow. Buy short stories. Yeah. Yeah, so magic book, new powers. Silas and and Jasek stayed behind in the grove, had a night together. Silas is scared of taking a leadership position and becoming Archdruid. And so he kind of had a moment, reached out to his dead mom, and received a jellyfish in return. And so that's, yeah.
It's pretty
You're
neat.
familiar.
Ain't it awkward when that happens? When you try to talk to your
Ain't it
dead
awkward
parent
when
and you
that
get a jellyfish?
happens? Yeah.
I mean,
I
honestly,
got
it
a
could go
rock
lot worse.
once.
I just wanted an apology, and she gave me a jellyfish.
That stings. Anyway.
Hey.
Yeah. So
Ba-dum-bum.
that's really where we are, though. We are waiting for Talus to join us. She will be here in her own time, as Talus does. And yeah, so that is what happened.
A Talus is never late, nor is she early. She arrives precisely when she means to.
Yep.
But that's pretty much it. We ended with rests being taken all around, except for Talus. Talus did specifically say they are going to continue reading. So.
Oh, wow.
What a nerd.
I thought
I
that
know.
we both took a short
No,
rest from the drugs
No.
that got us.
You took the drugs that were gonna keep you awake, right?
Well, no, because
So
we originally bought two kinds of drugs. One that would allow us to not long rest, not long rest, but also not give us exhaustion. And then we
Yep.
got another one, a bonus, that would let us short rest and give us the effects of a long rest. We ended up taking the second one, not the first one.
Yep. But Talus, so you had done that. Talus had said that they are very specifically staying awake anyway. So they're not going to take the exhaustion, but they are actively staying awake the whole night.
Fair.
That's the point I was trying to make. And I'm assuming that you've taken the drugs, so that's what you're doing as well.
Yes. I believe judging by the amount of time that I have left on the book, I believe that I stayed up all night reading.
You
took a
both
short
clocked
rest.
off. You both clocked off at least 8 hours.
Yes. Seems about right.
Okie dokie. Then what I want to do first is I would like to go to Jasek and Silas. So, you guys went to your rest in the grove. You have met 2 people within the grove so far. Can you remember them?
Yes. It was. I can. I swear. I wrote their names down. I did. Okay. Ologun, who's this turtle, and then Fitz, who's a Kenku.
Yes.
I remember Fitz.
We're still waiting to meet Rune and Ilya,
Mhm.
but I know of their existence.
You do indeed.
And then
So-
Greenleaf is waiting to be summoned along with Barry for this meeting. I mean, Barry's here at the grove, but Greenleaf is actually waiting to be summoned. So, yeah.
So just as a very, very small, you've got 99.5% correct there. It's not Ilya, it's Lilia.
Lily.
Lilia.
Like Lily.
Yeah, like Lily. Lilia. So Oligan, Fitz, Lilia, and Rune are the 4... What's the word? Is it novitiate? Novitiate. The novitiates that have come to your grove seeking to learn your ways. On that note, both of you roll me a d20. Just roll me a d20.
Just
I won't just-
straightforward.
Just
Bam.
a straightforward roll of a d20. What can possibly go wrong?
I got a
I
12.
I know what
I
can
got a
go wrong.
19.
I don't have my dice. That's what can go wrong. Where's my dice? Oh, guys, we can't play D&D. I don't have my dice.
Wow.
Oh well. I know what. I'll just make it up on this, but no, I won't. I have plenty of dice. I have loads and loads of dice. I just don't have the dice that I had
That you
plotted to have.
want.
Yeah, but it's fine. I'll just use my lovely new dice that I got from Mystery Dice Goblin packs. Because that's what I do with my life now. Is I buy Mystery Dice Goblin packs.
Nice plug.
So, oh no, absolutely not sponsored from it. But if you want to come along, sponsors, I'll use only your dice if you sponsor us. But no. So that was a 12 and a 19 from yourself, Silas, yeah? Sweet. So Silas, you're going to be the one that wakes up first, and you wake up with this very
Initiative to wake up.
roll initiative.
That's so funny. Yeah.
You wake up because of this feeling. It's like very, very light scratching, but also kind of like feathery. And it starts like on like your nose. And then it hops off and kind of on like your cheekbone, and then hops again, and it's on like your forehead. Until eventually your eyes open and you can see the head of like a little bird. Just like leaning over and, you know, watching you. It's standing on your forehead looking down at you.
I look up at it and I say, can I help you? Am I needed? Are you summoning me?
And as you do that, the bird is going to straighten up with a very regal countenance, is going to look at you. And then just chirp. It's like
Speak
that
with
build.
animals.
It's like oh, you can't speak with animals. Okay,
I mean, I'm a druid.
you know, cast speak with animals, and do you ask it the same question?
Yeah, I say, I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
It says, your snoring's really loud.
Well, tough.
And then the bird is
Thank
going to
goodness for your wings.
The bird is going to turn its head and be like, "Are you sure it's this one? Doesn't look like much."
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I not polite enough to nature? Buzz off. She's gonna sit up.
It's like, and ladies and gentlemen, this is the archdruid of the. Fuck off my face.
All I could hear is when you said, "Are you sure it's this one?" It looks questionable to me.
that was immediately through my head. Is like you've just made Irish Tantor. Like, are you sure this water's sanitary? And as the bird flies away, there's a kind of like lumbering forward noise, like big heavy footsteps, and there is a tree person who has like a big like crooked staff, and this bird comes and lands on their finger, and they look at the bird, and when they speak it sounds like it's like garbled, like machinery that's broken.
Warforged.
And they certainly don't look like a Warforged, although you can see pieces of metal and such visible underneath what is evidently like bark and pieces of polished wood and stone and stuff all over them. And
Okay.
the biggest part of them that is solid metal is one side of their face, where there's like, you know, a hole where an eye socket would go, and then on the other side it's like matched, so the piece that's here, it's as if the wood here has made what is missing from this to make a, you know, symmetrical looking face. The only difference is this metal part has like dwarven runes stamped on it all over the place. The eyes are a different colour. One of them glitters with a kind of mechanical, arcane, bluish light, whereas the other one is like a deep kind of yellowish orange colour. And as they see the point at the bird as they're speaking in this garbled tongue, and then they turn to you, give a wave, and then speak more of this garbled tongue.
That's nice. I acknowledge that it's happening and then take a moment to wake Jasek up.
Just gonna like yawn and just like, ugh. Are we done already, or can we relax longer?
Yeah, we're dead. We don't have to do any more. We can just relax now.
I wouldn't have died that easy. As J6 gonna like sit up.
Okay.
Who's your friend?
He is Groot. I'm sorry. They haven't introduced themselves yet, but I believe their name is Rune.
As you say, I believe their name is Rune. Is that?
Yeah, that's a yes. Body language says yes. Their name's Rune.
The bird's like, oh, that what gave it away was the subtle nodding of the head.
He also has a bird.
Looks down at Rune again. That's like, are you really sure it's this one?
I think it's like a canary or something.
I will have you know that I am a cardinal.
You sound like a mockingbird.
And you sound like a cunt.
Oh,
Both
hey, you know, I don't need two birds, but I have a stone, so...
You sound like a mockingbird, well, you sound like a bitch.
Bitch says what?
Post up, motherfucker, post up.
Silas, hold me back.
Silas like, well, I don't know how it's going to taste, but cardinal's on the menu, boys. Let's do this. As they say that, Rune does the whole thing again. We're like, you know, wagging their finger and making hand gestures while speaking in this. It sounds like you know those machines that you put stuff in and it just grinds it up. It sounds like that chewing up rotted wood.
It's
appetizing.
Okay. I don't want to be treated differently due to my status. Your bird has every right to speak to me however it wants to.
Bird looks
It's a
at Rune.
pleasure to
See,
meet you, though.
even he's. I suppose it's certainly a thing. Rune wanted to speak to you, and you were asleep, and Rune didn't want to wake you, so I woke you. Because Rune wanted to speak to you. But it's very clear that you don't speak his language, as not anybody else speaks his language. So I have to translate for you.
We can speak to each other. Silas will drop down next to Rune with a stick and start writing in Druidic in the mud.
As you start writing in Druidic, Rune gets very, very excited, which is very worrying for somebody that's 8.5 feet tall. As they start jumping and like clapping their hands, and then they take their staff and they start writing in like Druidic scrawl.
Oh.
And what they write is, it starts off with a little bit of like a fanboy kind of approach, like oh my god, I've been really excited to meet you since the moment we found this grove, and like I really feel like, you know, this place is like a home, and blah blah blah. It goes through all that, and then it goes into saying about how Rune was created by dwarves. You get right out of this whole kind of like abridged version, but basically telling that Rune was designed to cut down forest. He was designed as an automaton that was supposed to be a kind of lumberjack.
Neat.
And when he tried to cut down trees in the Varden Vale, as what usually happens with the Varden Vale is, the trees tend to come to life and hit you back. And ever since then, he hasn't been able to talk correctly. For the past couple of decades, he's been wandering around since he woke up, trying to find his last piece, but he doesn't know where it is. And recently, he thinks he might have found it. But it happens to be nearby a particular portion of the forest, which is quite violently aggressive. And the fact that he has dwarven runes scribbled on his face doesn't really help him. So he was wondering if an archdruid would be open to coming and speaking to the trees there, to let him in, so that he can look for his broken voice box.
Absolutely, we can do something. If no one else seems to be around, like looking for his attention at this moment, we can go ahead and go do that now.
There's people around. They don't seem to be like vying for your attention, but you can see like Fitz is doing what he was doing before. All the kind of like budding berry bushes and fruit trees and stuff. He's like flitting around them, grabbing and like checking, and then any seeds that have fallen, picking them up and making sure they're planted, and casting druid craft so that they take. He's just doing that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Olagan is down by. When I showed you the dungeon alchemist that I made for it, it was like the kind of curved hill, and then down the little slope there was the little lake. Mm-hmm. So Olagan is down there, seeing 2 lily pads and whatnot. And there appears to be singing coming from over that hill and on the other side from where you guys are, which you can probably assume would be Lilia. But nobody seems to be like rushing to get your attention or anything. They just seem to be there.
Yeah, Barry's somewhere enjoying not being mind controlled.
Barry at this point is most probably, because you've now seen that most of the archdruids have got the capability of casting travel through plants. So Barry has probably went to what is his grove until you guys are ready to meet.
Is the grove in like the same plane of Atuna, or is it a separate like demi-plane or anything, or is it?
I'd say demi-plane is the easiest way to say it. There's the Varden Vale in and of itself, and then there's the wood elven not wood elven afterlife. There's the elven afterlife, which is called the Long Forest. And then there's pockets of that are kind of in between them both, where spirits or very spiritually attuned people can wander between, or can wander in a place that is as close to the Long Forest without dying as you can possibly be. The Kokiri Groves kind of fall into that kind of place, because the Kokiri Groves are supposed to form they're supposed to keep that aspect of this Varden Vale alive. They keep everything in the working order as it's meant to be.
Okay.
So the groves, I would say, probably fall into the place of, I think the easiest thing to be would maybe not demi-plane, but I can't remember what they're called. The good version of the Domains of Dread. So you have the Dread domain, then you have the I think they're actually called pleasure domains, but I'll go and look it up. But I think that would probably be the closest, but it's what it's supposed to be, a demi-plane within a demi-plane.
Okay.
Cool.
But they're not just something that someone just like walks up on and is
No,
like, hey.
No. They have very think of them almost like. Do you know what the groves are like? The groves are like Barovia. You have to meet certain criteria to walk in and out of them. And the people who have control of them, hey, it's a Talus.
Oh, she's on her phone.
Okay. Well then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this just now. There we go.
Hey, don't you drive and be on your... Just get home.
I literally just have the phone sitting right here. Hello, everybody. Continue.
Hello. Where was I there? Yeah, they're like Barovia. They have a very, very specific set of criteria or things that need to be met to walk in and out of them, and whoever is quote unquote in charge of them also has a say in who could walk in and out of them.
Okay.
Where was I going with that? Yep, that's where I was going with that. So,
I just asked a question. Sorry.
no, it's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine. It was me being like, my brain farted. But yeah, so they do have a place in the cosmology. It's just not quite so easily described as plane or demicline. But I think the actual word for it is domain of pleasure, I think is what they're called, which is kind of weird.
I mean, hey, it has been so far.
Little pleasure palace.
Well, but yeah, to go back to what we were talking about before, Silas said nobody's really crowding you for attention at this point.
Heard. Yep. Nature walk through the woods, Jason? Potentially volatile and maybe violent woods?
What?
Yeah, you're in. Come on.
Absolutely, I'm in. But I'm more confused. Like, where? Here are we? Not that I'm against a volatile walk through the woods with potential violence.
Don't think about it. Just don't think. Just come with me. Don't think
I
about
want
it.
to take offense in that, but it is just real nice to just shut the brain off.
Well, no, and like...
So J6 just gonna like take Silas's hand and like
where
squeeze.
can't I get us?
The question is not where you can't get us, it's just where are we going?
Into the woods. I don't know. I don't live here.
This is your grove.
What does that have to do with anything? I've been here once. Okay, whatever.
I've been here just as many times as you have, okay?
That's true. You might as well be arch true. Okay. Anyway, so yeah. I will follow Rune into the forest out of the grove with Jasek.
Okay. I found what they are. They're called domains of delight. Not pleasure.
I like pleasure.
I like
domain.
pleasure. I won't lie.
The domain of pleasure.
Delight's good too.
But then it goes less D&D and more Warhammer 40k. And very Slaanesh. Speaking of which, I've been playing Total War Warhammer 3, and it's fucked. It's so fucking good. But anyway, so Silas, you're going to wander off with Rune.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Rune leads you towards the kind of archway. That is the quote-unquote entrance into this place. Now, what many would see if they looked here would be like a gnarled knot of trees. It's fairly difficult to get through. But as you look through it, you can actively see one of the main walk paths through the Varden Vale, sorry. For the people who call the Varden Vale home, they can map these roads. And as you look at it, you who have been to Vardenheart quite a few times, you can actually look at this and see this is a patch of the road where some of the landmarks tell you that this is not all that far from the main gates, maybe an hour's travel to the main gates of the Vardenheart. That's where your grove's quote-unquote entrance resides, in a copse of trees there. And as you step out of there, Rune begins to turn. If this would verge into the north, he starts to turn roundabout and back into the forest, heading into the northeast. He ventures not too far. maybe a 15-20 minute walk through this forest before you can see the forest takes on a different quality. The trees go from being like thick oak to really, like, it's almost like the change from like a deep like reddish brown oak to going into like redwood forest. The trees become so much thicker and larger, and the wood of these trees feels different. It feels like it is brimming with life, but it feels there's a sense of anger as you step into this place, this particular patch of the forest. The bark on these trees as well looks different as the light hits it. It almost seems to glitter and glisten. You can make a nature check on that if you would like to.
I think I will.
Then you are free to do so.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
Oh wow.
I know.
He's pretty nature-y.
I know. That's another 19 actually. So 29.
29. 29 on a 29. As you go up and you start to like feel this, it feels so it is natural. It's not altered in any way, shape, or form by any purposeful means. But as you touch over it, there's a coldness to it. And it's as you see the light is reflecting off what appears to be veins of ore within the bark. But it's not like somebody has taken spikes of metal and driven them in here. This quote-unquote metallicness of this bark seems to be natural.
Is it like mithril?
No, it looks like... If I was going to describe it as looking like any metal, now bear in mind I'm saying it looks like it isn't that. It looks more like tungsten. Very bright,
okay.
very high polish, but a very dark metal. A very dark metallic glint.
Okay. Does this seem to be the area that Rune is timid to push forward into?
He does seem to kind of, very strange for his size, but he does seem to kind of crouch in and keep an eye around a lot more.
Silas is going to take a step forward. He has a staff of the woodlands. He's going to tap it against the ground, cast Speak with Plants.
Okay. As you cast Speak with Plants, you become aware of a great many number of voices here speaking.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the trees of the Vardenvale are elves. Like elves who once lived have
Yes.
been buried and their spirits inhabit this.
So, not just elves. Elves, Eladrin, from like the earliest points of like anybody who called the Vardenvale, or before it was known as the Vardenvale, when it was known as the Springlands, anybody who called that home, if they passed away and they were buried here in the correct manner, or their ashes were scattered here in the correct manner and whatnot, their soul is able to walk here. And while not, like, they can't just pop out and like, hey, how you doing? How are you? They can't do that, except in some circumstances. But they can communicate in other ways through these plants. If the Vardenvale comes under attack, they can literally inhabit trees and use them to fight.
Yeah. So Silas doing this, he knows that he is going in less speaking to the plants and more to the restless dead who protect this forest, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So, as you open up to that, there is a voice that is going to speak amongst all these other voices. and I don't want to put along the wrong idea of it. It sounds like Treebeard, but it doesn't speak in the same kind of manner and way. It has that kind of deep wooden bass to it, but it's not like slow and lumbering. It is purposeful when it speaks. And this voice comes in, it's got a very, very deep underlying current of rage to it. And as it speaks, initially it speaks in... actually, I can't remember if you can speak this. Can you speak Sylvan?
I can.
You can, okay. So initially it speaks in Sylvan. Which you can understand as it issues a challenge. It comes and says, "Who will be the next to perish at our hands?" And then when it maybe comes against a perception of you, there's a kind of deep groaning, like the sound of wood being bent. Not breaking or fracturing or cracking, but like supple wood bending. Before it then speaks again in very broken common. And it will say, "Who name you?"
I will say in Sylvan, do not push yourself outside your natural tone for me. I can understand you. I guess Jason would also be able to understand that. Do you speak Sylvan? You're a satyr.
I do. Yes.
Okay.
I was like, do I? I do.
Yeah.
I was not aware Jacek had came with you, or I would have said, Jacek, you could understand, because I know satyrs can speak Sylvan.
Yes. So, yeah, do not push yourself to speak outside of your natural tone. I can understand you.
I can always translate too, but...
I will continue the dialogue in Sylvan and say, you are angry. What has been hurting the forest?
And when you ask that again, that groaning sound of wood bending sounds. And it will say in Sylvan, "Axes, flame, they come in droves, and they chop and bite and burn.
Indeed. I understand that those of you who have been buried here have a responsibility, duty, to protect the forest. But you need it protected from those who do not pose threats. I am not your enemy, nor are any of mine. That includes the Warforged.
He bears the mark of those who carve us.
And he bears the powers of nature. Do you think yourself a more worthy judge than she? I would remind you of your place.
On that, there is going to be a mighty splitting. The sound of like...
Ooh.
Akin to like the noise it's made. Sorry to reference Marvel here, but you know the noise it's made when Captain America pulls the log apart.
The logs apart, yes.
Right.
Yes.
That noise, but amplified by like 100.
Oh, Lord.
And you, and like through the different swathes of the forest and such, you can see trees parting out of the way. And what comes towards
Like,
you is Sorry, what were you going to ask there?
I was gonna say like near, like right near where we are, or like kind of in off a bit. Is this like
I guess, what's your passive perceptions?
Ooh.
17?
22.
A 17 to 22, I'd say that you're able to discern that it sounded about maybe 100 feet away.
Sure.
All right.
And as the trees move, they don't move like as if something pushes them. It's as if they actively move.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see lumbering towards you, and it is huge in size. And I have to be very specific when I say this because it's not an ent. It is a tree person.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
this,
very different.
I can show you a model, which is not exactly, but it is kind of close to what it is that you're working with.
Yeah. I think they're called the tree folk, right?
So this is akin to what you're dealing with.
Okay.
Just not with the giant sword.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, is this? Okay, yeah.
No, but very much
Gotcha.
like, like the spiked, gnarled branches everywhere.
Sure.
Not as humanoid looking as a Lord of the Rings ent.
Gotcha.
Oh, she survived. That's cool. So I knocked over another model when I pulled him out there, but just to give an idea of what they look like. And as he approaches,
Back.
hop back to my 4-player screen there, just for the now.
Yeah, sorry, she just got back, so she's
It's absolutely fine.
coming
Don't
up.
worry. Comes down and goes onto a knee and looks at you, and as it looks at you, it has a face. I say it has a face. It has a smoothed piece of wood in a head shape where there are what appear to be 2 eye holes and a mouth. But one eye is like carved and splintered and charred. And there is, in the back of the eye socket, you can see the shaft of what appears to be some kind of axe. And it will lean to you as it kneels, and it says, "For the longest of its years, I was her executioner. I have judged and deemed her enemies." And then it looks to the Warforged and it points with a really misshapen hand. It's very clear this is the spirit that's in here has been dead for so long. Probably doesn't remember what a physical body humanoid shape is supposed to look like. It's got the vague idea of there are 2 limbs down here, and there's hands. And we switch back, and there, would you look at that, we're right back into it.
Easy peasy.
And it will look at it, and there's a groaning of disgust before it will turn back to you. Look at you and Jacek and then say, "You both smell of our woods."
I suppose I never did introduce myself when anyone asked. I'm Silas. I'm the new Archdruid of the grove nearby. And I will take partial responsibility. You carry the weight of the years and the trauma of protecting this forest. Recently, you've been bombarded by flame and monstrous people who have no respect for this land. And it was my people's job to care for you and ensure that that didn't happen. The darkness that wiped my people out left you vulnerable. And for that, you have my deepest apologies. But I am back now. And this is my domain. And this Warforged is one of my chosen, and one of nature's chosen. Granted her gifts, her powers. I implore you to have trust, even though it's hard.
Make me a persuasion check.
That is not actually that bad. That is going to be a 20, nope, 17. Wow, 17.
Hey, you can be persuasive sometimes.
On a 17, it's not a failure, but as they look between you and the Warforged, you see there's not a whole lot of trust. They go back from being on one knee to standing at their full height. They're a good solid 20 feet tall. And when they stand back up, they say, "Why do you come to this place?"
There was a time when my friend here was not of their own mind. A mindless machine with only one function. He was an enemy, and so the trees attacked. I do not fault you for it, but now that he is an ally, he is a part missing in these worlds. That would make him whole. That would make him function again and return his voice. We simply wish to find that, and then we will leave. Over the next several decades, centuries, and on, I will come to gain your trust through my actions as Druid, not through this moment.
They will ponder. And I'd say the one thing they do have in common with Ents from quote unquote Lord of the Rings. I don't know why I said quote unquote there. I don't know why I said that. One of the things they do have in common with Ents from Lord of the Rings is it takes his time. There's maybe a good solid 5 minutes of silence where he just stands stock still before his head snaps back to look at you. And then he says, "He does not enter alone. Where he walks, you walk. And if he is alone, he will not leave." Basically giving you permission to come in here, to pass this line, so to speak, and find what you're looking for, but he must be with someone at all times.
I will beckon for Rune and Jacek to come with me. And I will begin to walk into the woods. I'll stop for a moment and say, you are all connected through the roots of this forest, right? Those of you here in this section of the forest can commune with those in, say, the Martin Clan.
We are part of this forest, but I speak for this. The word you would understand is grove.
Interesting. And are you capable are you capable of communion across the different groves?
It has been a long time since we have done so, but were we to extend our roots back, We could.
If curiosity ever strikes you, reach out. Look me up. You'll be a little more trusted.
Fucking Google me.
But with that, I'm just gonna take Rune and have him lead the way.
Rune will make noises at you. And his bird will...
Cardinal? Oh, yeah.
And his cardinal will translate that he's thanking you. And...
Wow. We haven't made it out alive yet. Don't thank me quite yet.
Where Rune leads you is to a massively, massively overgrown and dense part of this forest. Despite it being so densely overgrown, you can see remnants of skeletons here. Bleached white. There are pieces of weaponry in this area, but none that you would want to pick up and wave around. The wood is very, very old. The metal is more rust than metal. But with the limited interaction you may have had, not quite with them in themselves, but seeing members of them, seeing their wares and such, the weapons are of dwarven make. For this creature saying that they were attacked by axes and flames, this doesn't look like a place that's been attacked recently.
Okay.
But...
I do, okay.
Sorry, go ahead, what were you going to say?
I was checking to see if I speak Dwarvish. I do. I don't have anything to say in Dwarvish quite at the moment, but when
right, okay, cool.
What he's looking for, I do have a thing that I'll do.
Rune seems to come into this area and start looking about immediately. There's a certain confused, mobility to his body. Like, he looks around quite sharp, as if trying to make sense of it. And then he'll turn and he'll speak in his garbled mechanical tone. And his cardinal will turn and say, Rune says that he's confused because he knows the location of where he last had memory. But this doesn't look like where he was. But this is where he was. Or at least that's what he says. I think, honestly, he's just broken.
This is where he was.
The cardinal turns back and looks at Rune, and Rune nods.
Bran, it's just, stark white bones, some real
bleached.
real old.
What is left of the bone is bleach white.
Yeah.
You can make a nature check if you'd like to maybe try and see if you can get any more information on it. I would say nature or medicine, whichever would fall in best.
Yeah, I guess I'm not looking for that. I'm just trying to figure out, like, okay, it's clear that this is a battle scene of the bones, or is it just like a people died here and no one picked up?
There's weapons and armor.
Yeah.
And very tattered remains, but weapons and armor is left here. So this was definitely a battle that was fought.
Okay. If you have a gap in your memory, let me see if I can unlock it. and he will put his hands on Rune's head and cast Detect Thoughts.
Okay. Are you
Um,
probing deeper, or are you just getting
I
surface
am,
level?
like, absolutely. Like, I'm
Okay.
gonna let him know. I'm gonna look around, and this might be strange, but I'm going to see if there's something that will help us find this.
Okay. Then, as you say that, he will willingly fail to allow you to probe deeper. As you probe deeper, you'll see quite a lot. Rune has wandered for quite a long time. What Rune thinks was maybe a decade or two, based on context and based on the fact of you can see he has wandered and seen certain things and has encountered certain people. Based on a whole load of the context that you can get from this, Rune's probably wandered for about 300 or 400 years.
Oof, buddy.
He's covered a vast piece of the Varden Vale in his time. There are points that, as you're looking through his memories, where he's wandered so far that he gets to where the northern points of the Varden Vale would then meet the Black Woods, which is what they used to be before they became the Starlight Woods, which is still a fairly recent thing. It's only happened in the past maybe year or so.
Right.
But then you can also see points where he has wandered so far to the east that he has hit where the Varden Vale becomes Solanus. But he's also wandered so far into the northeast that it's where the Iron Mountains come down to meet the Varden Vale's edge. He's also wandered so far west that he wanders into that red rock of the Western Mountains. He's wandered so far south that he gets to the great wide open plains that lead into the land of Aduna. He's covered a wide array of places. There's also a point where he seems to wander and step into a part of the forest which feels like the Grove, but it's different. It's filled with what look to be elves. They look like Finny. But then he was chased out, quite aggressively chased out. And then but it seems like a lot of his time has just been wandering. And then there's a point where he meets a bird and he talks to the bird and the bird talks to him, and then the bird just starts following him around. But it seems like what he seems to think is a recent thing, as well as what this tree seems to think is a recent thing, was like maybe 300 or 400 years ago.
Yeah, so the woods have at this point swallowed whatever piece
Yes.
he is. Yeah.
Yes. But it's there's almost an understanding to it, because much like an elf would look at 300 years and be like, that's like 10 years. If you were an immortal something soul living in a tree, 300 or 400 years could be recent memory to you. Much as in somebody whose brain is broken, 300 or 400 years probably feels like recent to them.
I will come out of his memories and I will be like, time is a fickle thing. It can pretty easily run away with you. That was centuries ago. That was in no way recent. That was maybe 300 to 400 years in the past. All of the bones here are ancient. Any chance, like there's no chance that any of this was recent. I'm afraid that whatever piece you're searching for, the woods have swallowed up quite some time ago.
He kind of nods and thinks on it. And then he garble, 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 garble. And the cardinal will turn and say, Rune wonders if there's a way the forest can be convinced to give it back.
We could just make it give it back.
But not quite in the way I think he maybe expects. I can try something.
What would you like to try?
This is kind of interesting, because I don't know how this will actually work, but the spell Regenerate, you can touch a creature and a severed body member is restored after 2 minutes. So in theory, we just saw that tree able to speak in Sylvan.
Mm-hmm.
If I use Regenerate, maybe instead of replacing that part with the metal part he's missing, the
You replace it with the
tree
tree
will
part.
just grow it back.
And he then just speaks Sylvan.
Correct.
Not what I'd originally planned, but this is definitely one of those moments that I like to have where I go, do you know what? Fuck it, we roll with it. Let's see if it works. I'm gonna roll, and you can decide whether to go for it or not. I'll roll, and this will tell me if it'll work or not.
I'm going to try it whether it works or not. That's not really
So
the point here.
that's what I'm doing. I'm rolling to see if it will work. I'm not telling you if what I rolled will make it work or not.
Yeah.
You just got to go for it and see if it works.
Yeah. No, I'm
Right.
just going to go for it. We're going to give it a shot, and if not, plan B is...
Make
we
the
talk to
forest give
trees.
it back.
Yeah.
Make the forest give it back.
Yeah.
Feel free to... So, you're casting the spell Regenerate.
Yeah, it's not like there's no kind of a save or a roll for it. It just is, when you cast it on a touch, they regain 48 plus 15 hit points. And then for the duration of the spell, they regain 1 hit point, but that's not really important. The severed body part is the focus.
Okay. Oh wow. If you have the severed part, so you don't even need the body part. They can just okay.
Yeah, it just
cool.
grows
I like
back.
this.
Yeah,
I
if
like
you
that. This
have
is
the
good.
severed part, this works. But also, let's just...
This is cool. I like it. So, Rune will reach to the wooden part that has made their lower jaw, and they will lift up and push forward so that their bottom jaw comes off. And then they will pull their head back to show at the back where this is still quite like, fantasy based science. So where on automatons there would maybe be like a particular stone with a rune carved into it, or a piece of metal with a rune carved into it, which would give them the ability of speech. But where
Right.
that is, the metal has been rent off. So it's just like where here there's a dividing line where the metal has obviously been torn and fractured, or where their face was. That seems to be back here where quite possibly their head has been pulled off of the automaton. It has left the rune behind. However, as a warforged, this is equivalent to their tongue. So you reach out and you put your hand on that spot, and you close your eyes and you cast Regenerate. And Silas, as this magic starts to channel through, Jacek, you're gonna see some changes pop up on Rune.
On Rune, not on Silas or anything, right?
No. Silas just looks like Silas does when he casts magic.
Yeah,
Rune
okay.
is where you'll start to see
Beautiful.
the changes.
By the way,
On
I like
on-
beautiful.
Magnificent.
stunning. He's
whenever he-
resplendent as the noonday sun.
Whenever he casts spells, there's always just like a fan blowing into him with the
Yeah, they're
perfect
just
lighting.
Yeah.
Just little squirrels appear out of
Absolutely.
nowhere and start doing this with leaves.
Yeah.
So the runes, the dwarven runes on the left side of Rune's face, they start to glow. And then you see as they glow, the glow spreads over to the other side, and the wood on the majority of his body starts to also glimmer with runes. But these runes appear in Sylvan. And it's like the runes light up and glow in a inward spiraling way. They don't like spread out like this. Apart from on the face where runes have become visible, they start to move inward towards this part at the base of the back of their throat. So runes appear up their legs, up their body, from their hands, along their arms, until it gets to the back here where the Sylvan rune for what word would be best? What word would be best? The Sylvan rune for the word speak appears at the back here. No, that's over the course of 2 minutes. At which point, Silas, your spellcasting comes to an end. There's no more power flowing as you've done this. And you take a step back as Rune kind of puts up their bottom jaw, clicks it back into place. And then they speak. And they speak in Sylvan. But it's very strange. Because they speak in Sylvan with what is very evidently a dwarvish accent.
Mm-hmm.
In Sylvan, a dwarvish accent.
Right.
It's the
Okay.
equivalent. It's the equivalent to like speaking Irish with a Norwegian accent.
Sure. I'm gonna take your word for it.
And I'm now trying to figure out how that would sound to speak Irishish Gaelega.
I'm
In a
thinking
Norwegian accent.
of Brendan Lee Mulligan speaking Spanish with an Australian accent. Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
So that's the vibe of it. Okay, that's the vibe of it. Just not quite
That's
the sound.
terrifying.
But Sylvan, the way I think of it, Sylvan or the Wood Elven dialect of Elven sounds like Irish Gaelic. That's how I always picture it in my mind. So that, but then in my world, depending on the type of dwarf, depends on the accent, because it's not just as simple as all dwarfs sound Scottish. I think dwarves that live in the mountains would probably sound more Scandinavian. Then you would have the dwarves who live in the hills. I think they would sound Scottish, because they're very easily meant to be Highlanders. So he does speak with a fairly strong Norwegian accent, and I mean like comically strong. Very yoo-hoo, big summer blowout. You know?
Yeah.
Because, some of us sound like that. We do. So yeah, he's got that he does have that kind of speech. Thankfully, I don't need to speak Irish, because he will just sound like he's speaking in a Norwegian tongue to you, speaking in a common language. But as it comes back into, there's like a kind of, as things start to kind of clear and grind in a different manner. And then he says, hello?
Hello.
Oh, this is very strange. I have not spoken in so long. And
How
he
does
will.
it feel?
It is different. It doesn't feel like there are parts moving.
There aren't.
There's a kind of click, click, click. As you can see, he's playing with his jaw. He's like, I don't feel like I have to move my mouth.
I don't know if you do.
and he opens his mouth wide and then starts speaking, and it is very much as you've made it so the parts are no longer necessary. There's the magic you've essentially done has placed a rune which will translate conscious thought into sound.
Like almost like a sending stone.
Very, very similar to that. It's the equivalent of like essentially what you've done is you've created a magic speaker.
Yeah. Nice. Magic radio.
Oh my god, he's Bumblebee.
Oh,
Ooh.
the Transformer, Bumblebee.
Oh my god. It was meant to be a cute Groot and instead it's Bumblebee but wood.
I mean,
Oh wow.
not bad. Not bad. Seems like we didn't need dwarves to fix something that nature could.
Bryn like shakes his head and he's like, no, dwarves do not do very good things when it comes to fixing things. They are very good at breaking things.
And making things. But fixing them.
Stands and looks around and then he looks at a bunch of all the skeletons and stuff, then just like, I think that I would like to go now.
Yeah. I think that we have no more reason to stay. You're very brave for coming back here.
I just wanted to be able to speak.
And that was
And
worth
then-
returning to the site of your own deconstruction.
I think of it as more of like the place where I came alive.
It's a good way to think.
And they will walk over and they will pick you up, which is a very strange sensation for a Kokiri.
That's 6'10" Goliath, yeah.
Okay, yeah, because you guys are related to. Like, I mean, as much as your stat block is Goliath, you are nature Goliaths. Like,
Right.
but you're still very big. You're still very tall. You're still
Yeah.
very broad. So it's a strange situation where somebody not only taller than you but can lift you, and they walk up and they put their arms around you and they lift you up, but they don't like give a big, but they lift you up, firm squeeze, and then just do a little side, and then put you right back down, and then they say, "Thank you very much, Archdruid. You have helped me very much."
Very glad. Thank you. Good way to test my capabilities.
And they smile and they just turn and they do that very. They walk like a shuffle. And they will make their way back to the grove. You don't have to join them, but you can if you wish.
I actually do. I was told that if he's alone, he'll get torn apart again. So
Yeah. Well, hold on.
Yeah.
Didn't they say that he couldn't be alone? He does have the bird with him.
I'm not
On a
willing to play games
on a
like that.
technicality.
Hey,
He
they're
said where I go, he
they're
goes,
Sylvan and
so.
Fae. That's
Give me a
exactly
second.
what they do.
Oh. When we get back, if we see this tree guardian again,
Mm-hmm.
I will just take a moment to say to him, you know, I've just seen what he looks like on the inside, and he's more you than he is dwarf.
I wouldn't say you would see this elder tree being or whatnot, but I'd say you could still say that and be aware that they can hear you. They've probably had eyes and ears and in some way, shape, or form touching you the entire time you've been here. So,
In which case, I will tack on, if this forest needs a guardian again, from the dwarves, there would be no one more suited. Someone who knows their technology and capabilities, and yet is constructed of the same things as you. Food for thought.
food for thought indeed.
Yeah, but no, we'll finish walking back to the grove. Silas will lean over to Jasek and say, Was that okay? Did I do good? I don't know if I did good.
I think you did a great job. I just thought there would be a little bit more violence.
I kind of did too. That's why I brought you. That and quality time.
I was gonna say a stroll through a potentially dangerous wood is still a stroll through the woods.
You said you wanted a walk in the park. You didn't say it couldn't be a walk through a violent park.
Yeah.
Let's
chance
call
to
everyone
get murdered.
together. Greenleaf, Berry, Lilia, Rune, Oligan, and the Kinku, whose name is
Fitz.
Fitz. Yep. Let's call them all together. No, I wonder what Talus and Landed are up to right now.
It's funny you should mention that. Because we're going to hop to Talus and Laned. Now, when we left you guys,
I was
you guys had...
barely surviving mushrooms.
Yeah, you guys took some real intense... well, let's not quibble about it. You guys took some drugs.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
For like the
these-
most boring reason ever. Like we did drugs so we could read. Like good God.
So, it's like, yo, you have to go to sleep, but this part of the Skullduggery Pleasant book is just so good. But let's be real, we've all been there, right? We've all been there.
I mean, I've never gone to the point of taking illicit substances so I could keep reading, but you know, definitely been there.
in my days where I enjoyed doing such things and going out and such, I will say legitimately I have had one point where I started partying in the house because I was planning to go out, and then my friend cancelled on me, so I just sat in my house and I literally did just read. I don't remember what I read, if that changes it at all, but I know I read. But no, it was definitely a very non-traditional use of intense drugs. Drugs. Just say the word. We're an 18 plus
Drugs.
channel. We can say drugs. Drugs.
Thanks.
Um,
No, we're good. Thank you.
Drugs.
Thanks.
I love that owl.
He's good.
But with that, did we... I'm trying to remember. I'm racking my brain. Did we go back to the ship, or were you guys just in Shoremont?
Yeah,
I
no, we're
think
in
you
the
guys
ship.
went...
We're in
No,
the captain's
Wave
quarters.
West, sorry. Wave West, yeah. You guys went back to the captain's quarters. Okay. So in that case, as you've stayed awake the whole night, you've both clocked off that you've read another 8 hours of the books, yeah?
Okay.
Okay.
So, Fran, I think when I was walking to Wave West, I still had 22 hours left on my book. Is that correct?
Yes, this part I do remember, because you asked if you were taking the full 8 hours, and I said yes. And then he said, okay, cool. So I had 22, and now I take 8 off, and I had to stop and physically think, what is 22 minus 8? So yes, yes it is. Because
Okay.
I don't know
So
how to do
then-
math.
Another 8 is 14.
So 22 take away 8 is 14.
Okay. I ain't putting that motherfucker down. Y'all about to see some blood magic Talus when you get back to this ship.
Blood Talus.
And if I kept track correctly,
I can hear you.
Okay, great. If I kept track correctly, I have 6 hours left.
Yes, from you, after reading your 8, you have 6 hours to go on yours.
Yeah, I think I'm just we're just locking in.
I feel like there's moments where the crew, like, they obviously have shore leave, but I feel like the higher up crew members that are like officer level try to like pop their heads into the captain's quarters to be like, anything you need from us, guys? And it's just like kind of reaction.
There's definitely some like higher ranking crew members who have like, you not you know what, they do their shit, and that's their shit, and that's what happens. But then there is also absolutely members of the crew who, like, maybe don't so much get that even for adventuring standards, you guys are quite in and above the realms of normality. And they definitely do poke their head in and be like, You guys okay? Like, do we need to call someone?
However, like, if I take my eyes off of this book, I'm going to start hallucinating. So, and she just holds the thumb up.
The medic from the ship at one point comes up and is just like, listen, I get it. And most of us get it. But the ones who don't get it are actually getting quite scared. So I just have to clarify. You guys are of able mind, sound of body, and definitely not possessed. Right?
Just very high.
Okay. I'm gonna get some water. I'm gonna get some.
Get him some coloring.
I'm gonna
things.
I'm gonna get you some blankets. I'm pretty sure we can rustle up some cushions, and I'm gonna get you. We're gonna get you some of that fancy shit that the high elves have. What's that fucking shit? Chocolate. We're gonna get you some chocolate, and we're just gonna leave it in a little mound right in the middle of the room.
Can I have cheese too?
We'll get you.
Some cheesy tacky.
She's like walking around and closing all the curtains, making it nice and dark. Like an hour later, they come back and it's just like 9 different types of cheese, 4 different types of chocolate. There's also there's like a healthy mix of like water and whatever this world's equivalent of like Gatorade is. There's also coconut water. There's like teas, like just this tray gets shoved in, and just like this. She hijacked like 2 of the Goliaths of the crew to carry blankets and pillows in and just dump them.
Well, after all of the resources have been left, but it's going. I'm a high elf too.
Shit, damn, that was funny.
Wait, when did you get funny?
It only took us both getting high for it to work.
Dan's like, jokes on you.
She's like, you're choosing the worst time to be funny and cool. Because I want to laugh and joke, but I know if I lose focus, I'm done for.
Yes, I think this is one of those moments where I'm not going to finish that sentence, otherwise I don't think I will comprehend the line that I'm reading. It's fine. We have, like, only a little bit left. Sort of. Kind of. And
I mean,
that's-
I don't know about you, but, like, I've got a whole 14 hours, so, you know, when you're done, you want to, like, have a life, go for it. I think Jasek is gonna find me curled up on his floor when he gets back.
I mean, let's be real, that will not be, like, the weirdest thing that we've seen on the ship. It should be fine.
That's true. She's like, I am going to have to take a break to enjoy Silas's tantrum over his plants.
Remind me what we did about the plants. That was so long ago. I've been reading
Oh, we
for,
just,
like, hours.
we moved them all to different spots.
Yes, that will be funny. Assuming we survive, I think that the reaction will be worth it.
So
Okay, back to reading before we lose it.
Yeah,
That
that's,
was-
that's
that
quite
was gonna-
literally, that's what's
that
going
was gonna
on
look
here.
at- That's all you guys are
We're
doing.
locked
You guys are
in.
just reading.
Yeah.
I am
Okey-dokey.
determined by this fight, Bran, that I'm going to be a wizard, a blood wizard.
Oh, I forgot you're doing wizard, blood wizard.
That's what it is. School of Sangromancy, bitch.
I know. You wouldn't think someone without like any ounce of intelligence would go wizard, right?
Excuse the fuck out of me. My intelligence is a +4. Okay, I'm smart.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm just not very strong. I'm very weak.
I may be smart, but if I catch a cold, I'm done for.
You know what? And that
I
is
have
the
the
wizard's
constant-
bane.
I have a constitution of a dry leaf. Okay, like.
Yeah.
It's really weird that Talus is going to Talus of all people is going to go to be in the class that is routinely joked about as dying from 1d4 mean damage.
I would be clear. I am maintaining that I am a sorcerer at heart because you can't really change that. It's just that I have suddenly realized that if you study, you can do cool shit.
You're like the talented kid who realized like once he got like midway through his like undergrad degree that he could like do more than just pulling C's by not studying if he actually put in like an ounce of effort.
I'm feeling personally attacked here because this is quite literally me.
Yeah,
I
get that.
you're like the musical theatre kid who is like naturally gifted, but also realised that if they study music theory, they're a lot better.
This is my nursing school. I had a 3.9 GPA because I only got a B in pediatrics, or no, women's health. That's what it was, women's. I locked in, I could study, and I was smart. And now this is Talus. She's locked in, she's gonna study, and she's fucking smart, Charlie.
Hey. Wicked smart.
Wicked smart.
You're a wizard.
I don't know what 3.9 GPA is, because we don't do GPAs here in the UK.
So 4.0 is the highest you can get.
It's like just under straight A's throughout your entire semester.
Yeah.
Just under?
Just under.
Just like
I think
how
3.9 is still considered magna cum laude, though, right?
Yes.
Not that anyone gives a shit about that the minute they graduate, but you know.
No, not at all. Anyway, yeah, Bran, we're I don't know what the timeline is on them getting back to us and all that, but
I mean, we just spent like a day doing something else.
I mean,
maybe not a day. Maybe not a day.
Like a couple of hours.
That was like an hour and a half, right?
It was like 2 hours. An hour to get there, fucked about for 15 minutes, and then another hour back. So like, I'll be generous and say 2.5 hours.
I mean, I don't really care if they return. I'm still reading.
hey, Bran, we don't need to know what the story is. We need to know how much time it took. We're at the bottom of the 9th, man. Just give us the hours.
Dang.
So if
really
you guys are just
grind time for you guys.
If you guys are just locking in and just reading until you're done, and that's all you're clocking off right now, then if you're taking into account what they do as well, you can clock off another 2.5 hours. Well, it'll be 2 hours. Or, it's hours. You can write down 2.5. 2.5 hours you can clock off.
I got 11.5 hours to go, baby!
Yo, I'm down to, what? 3.5?
You were at
You were
6,
at 6,
so yeah.
So 3.5 hours.
Yeah. The travel time from here to the dragon that we have to go find, what did you say that was, Bran?
So the dragon is located...
I thought it was pretty close to here, right? No?
Yeah,
It was several hours.
It's closer to them than it is to the Vardenvale. With you guys by airship, you're going to the left, but you're not going quite that far. You're going... So I'm looking at the map that I've got of the whole of the entire world here.
Go get Dad. Go get Daddy. With your dragon breath to Daddy.
You would be... So from Wave West, by your ship, you'd be travelling about 3 hours. If you're going from the Vardenvale, even with your ship, you'd be talking a 12-hour journey. But I think the intent was always to do travel through plants. Back to the ship.
Wave West. And
Back
then,
to Wave West, yeah. So yeah, you'll be, at least laying it, will most definitely be finished the book by the time you get there. But also depending on their conversations and such, you could also finish yours.
How's this just gonna... Okay, Leonid, your job is to distract them long enough for me to finish this.
Okay. As soon as I finish my reading, I will take care of that.
Perfect.
To distract us long enough to give you time to read?
All of the above.
Darling, you already did. You moved all my plants around. You bought the time you needed, sweetheart. We're good. It's okay, beloved. We're there.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
Okay, so there's nothing else you guys want to do except locking in and reading?
I know
Yeah,
it's boring,
basically
but
at this
yeah.
point, yeah.
Okay. Then I'm going to go back to the rest. I'm going to go back to Jacek and Silas. So, Jacek and Silas. You guys, after travelling for about another hour, get back to the grove. At this point, Olagan, Lilia, sorry. It's because I've got in my mind you call them the right name. Olagan, Lilia, and Fitz are standing, kind of just joined together in the little central part of the grove as you guys walk in. And you can now get a proper look at Lilia. And Lilia is, by mechanics, as in by game rules, a centaur.
Okay.
But for the sake of this, think less horse, more deer.
Oh, okay.
Like white-tailed deer.
Okay.
Up to and including little like antlers here, but very very small. We're not talking like wah. We're talking like little teeny bob. Where Olagan and Fitz are wearing what is druidic robes, Lilia is garbed in all natural fibres, like plants woven into space and such. And she has a long, crooked staff, which has webs in the crook of it. Webs hung all over. There is a large spider in the center of that. I say large, I'm not talking like grotesque, I'm talking like the size of what you'd call a normal big spider.
A wolf spider, tarantula, somewhere between those.
I'd say probably closer to kind of like one of the larger ones.
Okay.
Maybe like a golden orb.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know what that is.
I think they're also called riding spiders. Like the
Yeah,
golden
they're
orbs.
they're one of the bird catching spiders.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. And the fact that you just call it a bird catching spider says everything I need to know.
Pretty much. Yep.
the webs of this appears to have formed as you look at it, Silas. I mean, not that Jacek would see this, but Silas, you'd be able to make out the webs that it's woven, the connecting. It doesn't look like a standard web of being like multiple rings inside like that. Where the webs all knot up together, it makes a star chart. But as you guys come in, they see you, and everybody kind of wanders over, and Olagan obviously is the last one to get there because he's a tortoise.
Yep.
Very very slow. Fitz doesn't really speak; he can only mimic. So the one leading the conversation really is Lilia, and when she gets over there, she's going to walk straight up to you, Jacek, take hold of your hand and start shaking it up and down really, really vigorously, and be like, "It's so very, very nice to meet you. I've been waiting to meet you for a long time. I didn't actually. You have horns. You have horns just like me. Although my horns are maybe not in the exact same shape as yours, because my horns are more like a deer's and your horns are more like a ram's. And I'm really, really sorry. I talk really quick when I get really nervous, and I'm really nervous to speak to you. But it's very, very good to meet you. I've been looking to meet you for a long time."
It is pretty good to meet me. Who are you?
Oh, sorry. My name is Lilia. I'm a druid, but well, actually, I don't know if I am a druid. I'm training to be a druid, and I can do druid things. But I don't know if I'm an actual druid yet. But that's why I'm here, because I would like to become a druid. And well, if I was going to be a druid, well, it'd be you. So
It'd be me.
Of course. Renowned Archdruid of Stars, don't you know?
Oh, sorry. I thought she came up to me.
she did.
She did.
Yeah. Okay, like
She's making an assumption.
Yeah.
okay.
She
Sorry,
sees,
sorry. Like
she sees Satyr and thinks, "Oh, obvious."
Surely not the Goliath, right?
Well, yeah.
I mean, I am a great archdruid. I'm like turned, looking over to Silas, of this great grove. Watch as I command the grove and its belongings to turn suddenly into an axe. And I'm gonna like kind of like whisper to like act like Toothy, like axe, psst, axe.
And Toothy will hop to it and become. Wood cracks and forms. What was once flesh and bone is now fucking plant and wood, and it forms into a giant great axe. And I'll roll insight check. It's going to have to be a fucking high roll.
Oh, can I?
But I'll roll the
I was gonna say,
insight.
can I roll deception?
I want to do the help
that would
action
be
here.
that would be
Sleight of
more
hand, I'm
performance.
guessing. Or
Performance.
Okay.
Performance.
Okay.
But sleight of it depends what you're trying to do, Silas.
Yeah.
Silas, what would you be trying to do when you say that you're rolling sleight of hand? What would you be trying to do?
Oh, I'm not. I was wondering if that's what he would be rolling. No, I want to do the help action.
Oh, right. What is it you're trying to do with the help action?
So he's trying to get Toothy to shift into an axe, and they'll be like, "Oh, he does this all the time. His staff is just remarkable. I mean, it can do the most incredible things." And just like try to like steal her eyes and her attention so that she keeps looking to me instead of to him.
So in that case, Jason, you can roll your performance check with advantage.
So the first roll, I got. Oh, I just accidentally cleared away. How do I get back to the rolls? Here we go. So on the first roll, I rolled a 14. On the second roll, I got a nat 20 for a 32.
On a 32, I'll roll the insight check. She rolled a 2. For a grand and resounding total of 6. But she laps this up. She's immediately like, I really want to learn how to do that. How do you do that? Can and she's going to look at her staff and she's going to go, spear. And nothing happens.
You break the end off of it, it'll be a spear.
It's the fat lady from Harry Potter where she's like, "Look, oh!" and she just smashes the glass.
Yeah. No. Look what else he can do. Here, look at the lake over there.
She turns and
Yes,
looks at the
look
lake.
at the lake.
I
She's like,
cast
look over-
tsunami. Away from the inhabitants of the grove, like just into like the mountainside.
yeah. Away.
No, like,
But I was like, you assumed it was him? Oh, okay, look at this.
I know, right? No, not like cosmic beat down. Hold on. Yeah, no. And so when she turns, like the entire lake just like rises up and like starts, like off in that direction. And I let her fangirl for a moment. And then I step forward, being the one actively holding the wave up.
I will roll insight and see if she can put the obvious clues together. Okay, that's decisively better. I'm going to say that with a 17 in total, as you step forward with a hand raised. And she's going to look between you both and go, he's not the Archdruid.
No, I'm not.
You're the Archdruid.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm an idiot.
No. Well, no.
You're mistaken.
You're mistaken.
Extra
but
eager, overexcited. Sorry.
You're supposed to do a compliment sandwich. You have to put some good things in between that.
Eager.
You're very enthusiastic.
You have
You're a
beautiful
moron,
horns.
but you have such lovely ideas.
They're very cute horns.
Very cute horns. That's amazing.
Make all the boy horns go, wah. That's a very niche piece of humor.
It's an old
from the
reference,
Western
but it
ways.
checks out.
It's out of line, but he's right.
Other Goliaths are mostly from the Western ways, so I understand your confusion. You would think that the satyr who comes from the Varden Vale is probably the one, but
She's like, beetroot. Like,
he does have his place in the tribe. I mean, engaged to the Archdruid, I'm sure gets you something.
oh,
Gives me a lot
he's-
more than something.
you're both going to be married. That's cute. Have you had the wedding yet? Or no, wait. Of course you haven't had the wedding yet. That's what you mean by you're engaged. Because if you had the wedding yet, you wouldn't be engaged. You'd be married.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Did you just call us gay?
From the back, Fitz. Ha! Gay. My dream is to my dream is to have a friend any of my friends who are remotely part of the alphabet community ever get married. I want to get their express permission to be able to do that when they kiss. Like, you may now kiss the bride, and just me be like, gay.
That's actually a requirement at their weddings. You know that.
It's
like
like
everybody
illegal-
does it.
It's like they're
It's
not
legally
legally required.
required.
Where was I? Yeah. At this point, Olagan will have caught up to the group.
Gotta wait.
And he's laughing as he approaches. He's obviously heard Lilia run in her mouth. And he laughs like the sloth from Zootopia, like, ha, 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 ha. Lilia is very spirited.
You're supposed to put it into a
Considering-
compliment sandwich.
You just picture Jason being like, I learned all these buzzwords. It's supposed to be a compliment sandwich.
You know, considering all of the previous inhabitants of this grove are dead, spirited is something I'll take.
Damn.
She has the naivety of her youth. But she will be a good druid one day.
I hope I'm done. Well,
The other archdruids are waiting for you.
thank you, all of them.
He's going to turn round and just start walking away in his very slow manner.
When I'm done with this meeting, I will have Greenleaf and Barry stay a moment after. And I would like to call all of you in. We're going to do something together. It'll be the first time this many Kokiri have been in one place.
We will be sure to stay nearby.
Weird.
Then he
Jason, if
turns
at
and
any
keeps
point
plodding off.
you want to go back to the ship, you're more than welcome to. I'll take you there. If you want to stay, that's fine too. But
I-
to be fair, Barry doesn't speak common, so you will be listening to a bunch of Druidic.
I would like to stay. I do want to see your family, your grove, your group. I do worry that we have our other two companions, and without two of the most crew on the ship, it might
Oh, your
Check
mic
it,
has
That's
went.
almost
Your mic has
English.
went. Yeah, your mic has went very weird, Jacek.
You're just a little too far away from your computer. Just a little bit.
Sorry, I'm letting the pupper out. Is it better?
A little bit better. But if you would like to stay, I'm happy to have you. My family is definitely aboard the plane breaker right now, but this is definitely a close second. And the last little bit we do before we leave will be fun. Promise.
Then I will stay. I will see what old druid think. I mean, seeing as I am the arch druid, and I'm gonna get like really loud in the grove, arch druid of the stars.
Lilia, beetroot again, completely red in the face.
Yes, you are, sweetie. Go play in the lake while we have our meeting.
Oh, that's swimming.
I like swimming.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna head to this meet. Jason is, of course, welcome to come with, or he's welcome to go relax in the grove. Be a satyr on a satyr's day off. But, yeah.
Are you going with Jacek, or are you?
I am. So I guess they're not gonna stay in the grove. They're going and doing something else.
So they will be meeting in the grove. They're going to be meeting in the grove. But,
Okay, then I'm gonna stay in the grove and sort of relax, put my feet in the shore sand, my hooves, grab my hooves, in the water, and just kind of like I want to see what this sort of discussion ritual thing is. I don't speak Druidic, but I can kind of observe, and at the end of the day, if it is incredibly boring, Jacek will go swimming in the lake, but he'll definitely kind of do it with like the intent of like slow, like taking off like I guess his jacket and just kind of like doing one of those like oh I gotta stretch and bend and pick something up. I wonder if my fiance is looking, like pool boy style, like just like laying there for a little bit. Just man, he gets out of the water and just shakes his hair.
Yep.
He knows it's important, but it's also like, hey,
Priorities, right?
yeah.
Okie dokie. So, Silas, as you go to the kind of the central tree of this grove, Berry and Greenleaf are already standing there. And as you approach, Greenleaf kind of comes over, gives you a very, at this point, kind of like familiar hug. Like, and Berry does keep his distance, but at least offers a hand to shake.
Mm-hmm.
And then, with you being there, Berry will say, I realise that I have not offered you thanks for rescuing me from the position I was in before. Thank you. I appreciate the risk that you and your companions took.
No need. It was equally personal for me. Rescuing you was an added benefit. It was not the goal of being there. And nature compels that we look after our own.
You will be glad to hear that in removing that person from this world, you have removed one of the longest standing enemies of the Kokiri people. Not in so much as he directly, but what he stood for. The corrupting of nature. But this also leads to a glaring issue that we have, and that is that, as we feared would happen, the groves have been silenced. Now, in their silence, the proper action was undertaken. Children, yes, children were sent away from the groves, protected, in order that the Kokiri may return and take up their mantle once again. And while it is clear that some groves, and he does look at Greenleaf at this, some groves have maintained their history and purpose a lot better than the others. And I mean that as no disrespect, I mean that as capability. Others may have lost their history, or what their grove stood for. And he's going to cast Druidcraft on this little campfire he's got in front. And the flames burst into life, and as they do, they kind of spark up. And the sparks swirl around and start to make images. And he will say, millennia ago, the denizens of this world fought and squabbled over the land's natural resources. After a time known as the Eladrin Wars, a great flux of magic came upon this land due to an old friend. In order to better combat that, I set my target to be bringing nature back to life, repurposing the druids who had come in order to try and protect the natural spaces, into no longer simply protecting but rebuilding. We were able to bring back most of what we lost, but there had to be constant vigilance. And so that is when the 5 tribes of the Kokiri were began. Myself, and as he speaks and puts his hand on his chest, the sparks and embers form the shape of a paw, specifically a bear paw. And he says, we followed the teachings of the moon, relied on the primal side of our druidic capabilities. We became nature's warriors. We would take on the cruel burden of removing life from this world in order to protect nature's bounty. He looks to you, Silas, and as he does so, the sparks and embers all swirl around and become stars. And he says, those who followed the stars would do literally that. They would walk among all the groves and ensure balance was kept. They would ensure that each grove held its place, and that should the stars align in new places, the groves would move with them. They ensured that we were always where we were needed. They ensured that any threat that came from outside of this plane would always be met and always be seen coming. He looks to Greenleaf and swirls around again, and it becomes a flame. And he said the grove of the flame were the light keepers. They maintained the hearths of each of the groves and ensured that life would always be burning within each of them. They were also our last resort. Should a grove be corrupted, should any place be corrupted beyond redemption, it would be purged, burned by nature's green and verdant flame, so that new life may come from the ashes. It's at that point he stops and he says, "What do you know of the other groves?"
I wasn't even aware that there were. I mean, based on what you've said so far, there are surely those who follow the teachings of the Fae, those who reside over trees, perhaps, those who are circle of the shepherd, focus on flocks, livestock, animals. I don't know though.
He puts his hand on his chest and says, "We took on the burden of keeping those of a more feral and primal stature. We took them under our bows." The sparks fly up and they form the symbol you would standardly see on the side of a bottle of poison. Skull and crossbones. He says, "For all who would pass through these groves and for all who would meet their end, the circle of spores ensured that they would be laid to rest in a correct manner. But should a need ever arise, that their bodies could rise again to fight for us should we ever need them. Circle of Spores maintained the dead of each of the groves, and also ensured that the dead of others could never strive near or harm us." And then they swirl around again and become what appears to be like a crashing wave. And it says in this, "Those who dwelled in the oceans by our northern coastlines, those who took to the seas, ensured that we remained connected to those beneath the waves. Nature does not only encompass what is green, but also what is blue. Even beneath the surface of the ocean, there are forests and entire jungles, and they had to be cared for as well." And he does look again to Isaias and says, "No, you are correct. On a less than literal meaning, there is technically another grove of Kokiri, but they are beyond us. I think that they were not entirely. It's often said that wandering through the wrong place in this forest can take you to them. But any who has ever went searching for them has never come back. I don't think it's even possible to come back once you find them. My personal opinion on it is that you wander so close that you fall into a sleep and you cannot be awoken. But whether that is true or not, I do not know. They do not appear to have had a physical hand in the workings of this plane of existence. So we have not thought of taking the risk to find them. For the physical groves, the other two Kokiri must be found as soon as possible. That will mean venturing into the sea and venturing to where spores and the dead walk hand in hand.
I believe I am equal to that task. I have a ship that can travel both air, sea, the depths of the ocean, even the astral realms. I should be able to find them, gather them towards a common cause.
Once you find them, they must be brought here. After they have revisited their groves, brought their groves back to life, they must be brought back here. And the cycle must begin. Once the groves are aligned, the Kokiri will be reborn. And this world, at least for its nature, will have its defenders back.
The time that I've been a practicing druid, the Varden Vale has been reduced to mere ashes twice. It will not happen again.
He looks around at this and he smiles and says, I hope that to be true. I seen this forest when it was first named the Varden Vale. And I think its founder would be glad to hear that it has come back from near devastation twice now.
It's strong. Its roots are deep.
Then it is our job to ensure that they stay deep. That they stay strong. So, keep your ears to the ground. Any signs of heightened extensions of druidic practice that revolves around the use of spores or that takes place near the sea is worth investigating.
I will keep my ears out. I'll do some scrying. See what I can find. I have a
He
feeling
will-
that if this path is correct, the stars will guide us.
I believe in that too. In order for us to maintain better contact, he's going to reach out and touch you and Greenleaf on the forehead. And for a small burst of magic, he's going to give you the location of his grove. The location of its entrance within the physical plane, as well as an image of it so that you can travel through plans. His grove is his grove looks like a nature reserve. Very wild, very untamed.
Okay.
And there is the image he gives you, there's all kinds of animals all over it. And obviously you've seen Greenleaf's Grove, you know how to get to Greenleaf's Grove from the physical plane, and you know what it looks like there, so you can travel there as well. He will say, while you both look for the children to bring back to their groves, I will hunt for their physical place. Once I find it, I will alert you to its location.
Right. Stay in touch then.
He will reach out to touch the tree, but before he does touch it, he'll say, do either of you have anything that you need from me before I leave?
Maybe one thing, actually. You're the oldest druid. I know, certainly. Maybe the oldest alive. Will you help lead my circle with a spell, a ritual?
I would be glad to.
There's a 6th level spell called Druid Grove. I know that we are already in a grove. So I'm wondering if, just in theory, this is just an enhancement, a way to empower the grove, its purpose, what it does, and make it safer, stronger for its inhabitants.
Okay, let's have a look-see here. Okay. What kind of effect would you be looking to get from this?
Truthfully, I know that it lists a couple effects like Grove Guardians, Grasping Undergrowth, Solid Fog. Between those, I would guess Grove Guardians if I have to pick an effect there, but to the same extent, I'm also just looking to generally give the druids here something to practice while I'm gone. And so if it's something that just makes the defenses of the Grove better, I think that's pretty good.
I will say, you gather berry, you gather green leaf. Is this where you would call over the rest of them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You gather them over and you explain to them what you want to do. Okay. Each of them starts to lend to this spell being cast. They form a circle and they start to all chant in Druidic. And with you in the centre, you raise your staff and you strike it into the ground at the point that this spell is cast. I believe it takes... How long is it to cast
10
this?
minutes.
That's 10 minutes. Over the course of this 10-minute ritual, the trees around this grove grow thicker. They weave themselves, cover themselves in thick barbs, and vines and creepers weave into the spaces in between them. The entire grove becomes heavily fortified, becoming a place that you could not infiltrate simply by knowing its location anymore. From here it is very much a case of you must be welcomed in, or you have to get real damn lucky.
Yeah.
On top of that, what I will also give you is the tree in the centre will follow the part here it says about the Grove Guardians. The central tree will now become an awakened tree. Meaning that now your grove has a sentience to it, has an entity to it. So we'll write this as being you open up that place through to the Long Forest, and a person from there, a being from there who once called the Vardenvale home, is invited to join and become a part of this grove and become its defender, its warden. And that will happen. And this tree becomes sentient, and the entire grove is now essentially an extension of their body. They become physically able to manipulate it. Very like what's the name of the dude from X-Men? Krakoa.
Oh, I don't know his name, but I know who you're talking about.
The island that they all live on, and its physical manifestation is a tree.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, right.
Like that.
And it's like all interconnected, and yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Very cool. Well, yeah, I mean, with that, I guess the only thing left I would do is just give the druids their basic practices. You know,
Okay.
study your star chart, speak with plants, speak with animals, commune with nature. Like, these are the spells that I want them to practice. See if you can start manifesting some starry forms. You know, what comes naturally first is what you'll do if you're a defender. look for the archer. If you're a, scholar, look for the dragon. If you are a, healer, look for the chalice. And in your star charts, find it there, find yourself through it, Just some basic instructions so that while I'm gone, they are able to help the grove get stronger.
Okay. They will each set off to begin studying their star charts and studying the circle's tenets.
And I will make sure to let them know, because there seems to be some confusion there. They are all now druids of this circle and of this tribe. They are all Circle of Star druids of the Kokiri.
If they're
There's-
all that, are any of them really that?
Yes.
There's kind of like different reactions from all of them. Rune and Lilia get very excited. Lilia very much like a young deer bouncing around, whereas Rune starts to just kind of like clank and jitter as the different parts of him kind of like bump around on each other and stuff like that. Olagan just kind of sits down, starts to go into like a state of meditation, almost like just sitting and listening. And Fitz just seems to really want to get back to his fruit bushes and stuff.
He's welcome to.
But they're all very excited about this. And this feels like the start of the grove, like the start of the grove's new life. Jacek, while this entire thing goes on, you're watching it.
Well,
so you can see the changes that happen.
Yeah, so like obviously they're like doing stuff, and I like noticed all of the changes. Like, okay, all right, like this is pretty amazing. But also Jacek's a little bit like, maybe we could do a little bit of this to the ship. He's gonna see what magic Silas has got.
Okay. Silas, with this being done, what's the next step here? Are you guys heading back to the ship, or
Yeah. At this point,
Okay.
I'd collect Jacek. I'd be like, I think we have stayed long enough, taken enough time off, and I don't even know if we have a ship anymore because we left it in the hands of Taliesin Leonid.
I trust that they did not completely destroy the ship, or sell the ship, or barter it, or in any way lose it.
What if they tried to go underwater and they don't know how, and so they just sent the ship underwater, and then everybody else floated off the deck of it, and now they're all just sitting there in the ocean, and the ship is gone in the depths.
Do you think that they would have gotten the ship that far underwater? You know the ship floats, right?
No, none of them know how to use the Helljammer helm. Or the Spelljammer
Exactly. But I think it is long overdue that we get back to check on them.
helm. All the same. Well, this is Hank 2.0. I don't know what the tree's name is.
I wanted you to finish, but you also called it an awakened entity, and all I could think of is entity.
oh wow,
Wow.
I now hate this.
I
Wow.
I live with this, so I get it.
Yeah. Just speeding through it, though, Silas will introduce himself to the tree, let him know that they are going to travel through it now to get back to their ship, and, like, pop out in, like, Marcus's front yard because he had a tree there or whatever. I don't know. Whatever tree
Yeah.
Silas has seen in Wave West, I mean...
So there's quite a few. So there's actually quite a few of the gardens and stuff like that of the houses do have trees in them. There's also the trees on the coast. Like there's trees nearby the coastline. But yeah, probably the closest one to where the docks would be. Yeah, would probably be Marcus's garden. It's just across from the docks. So
That's so funny. Okay. Yeah. Let me just pop up at Marcus's real quick. Last time we were at Marcus's, we were one session away from having Lane join the party.
So you pop out in Marcus's yard, and you can hear the sound of, you know, his family inside doing whatever they do, chatting away, talking away, having a good old play around inside.
Good old play around.
Good old play around. They're having a bit of a raucous run around. Is raucous not the right word to use?
I don't know.
I feel
think
like
it's fine.
I'm like, is this like a sex thing? Like, is this just you're like
No!
having a
No,
good
not at
old play around? You know, give me all reach around, right?
That's
Those are
specifically why I
totally
said
different things.
play around and not reach around. Like, those are two very different things.
Okay. Anyway,
Anyway, yeah, it's family are all inside. They're having their maybe like having dinner or something like. Well, maybe not so much dinner, but like having like lunch or something like that. You can hear the waves lapping nearby. And moored off to the sides of them, you can see the Planebreaker taking up
Hey,
kind of like one of the larger spots available on the docks here. Bear in mind, Wave West is a port city, so the majority of their waterfront beyond the Brass Gates is what is all dock. From end as far as you can see to as far as you can see on the other side, it's just docks and ships, shipyards, shipbuilding lanes and such. And then obviously you look out to sea and the stone walls come round into a big circle with what are famously called the Brass Gates, two very large sea sluice gates that drag open like this and are in fact pulled open by, you guessed it, two other ships.
I'll briefly look at Marcus's house and say, "Do you want to check on her?"
no. I think she's doing fine. You know what? I know she's doing fine.
Weird
I
to
would
think
much
that
rather
last time.
hear of the exploits than see any of them. Because if I know anything about the exploits, they're much more. They're
Better
much more
stories
fantastic.
than they are in
Yes,
person. Yep. As someone who's seen those Gorthrak adventures, I can confirm.
that they're still really amazing to see, right?
I prefer Jasek.
I actually really liked that line there, Jasek. I'd rather hear them than see them. Have an inspiration for that. I like that. That was really, really cool.
Heroic inspiration.
Yeah. Remember, my inspiration is a D10. You can add it to any dice roll.
For context, Landon, back when Jasek was still Gorthrak,
The
Marcus's daughter,
Minotaur.
was actually I think an amputee of some kind. She was missing one of her hands.
She was born without proper use of her hands.
Yeah.
Marcus and his wife Sarah have loads of kids. They have I think the last time we counted, it's been jokingly that it's changed so many times, but I think the last time I took note of it, they have 16 kids.
Oh yeah, that's
10 of them.
Abraham had many
10 of
sons.
them. 10 of them are their own children. 6 are Wave West is like a port city, so loads of very dangerous work. And anybody that Marcus knew who lost their parents, he just kind of took their kid. And one of the kids was born with full use of their hands. And the party met them and they were talking about being picked on. And Gorthrak, you said, what was it? Gauntlets of Ogre Strength?
Yeah, I think it was the gauntlets of ogre strength, giant strength.
No, because
No,
you have
it's
the
ogre
belt of
strength,
giant
belt of
strength.
giant-
It
Yeah,
was
I have
the gauntlets of
it's
ogre
the gauntlets
strength.
of ogre strength. Yep.
So we had the Gauntlets of Ogre Strength, and they went, here, if you have these, then they'll never be able to pick on you ever again. And basically handed the Gauntlets of Ogre Strength to a 10-year-old.
So she's
and
Gorthrak now.
Yeah, I really liked it, so I was like, okay, when she wears these, they operate like hands. Like, she can,
Yeah.
all the dexterity of hands, but with the power of an ogre. So it's just this 10-year-old running around with a mad vengeful streak, just like beating kids up with the power of an ogre.
That's peak. I love that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So, yeah,
I think we would just head back to the boat, see our friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys make your way back to the ship. As soon as you get to the ship and you get on board, so many of the crew look at you guys with looks that are full of relief.
All they did was read the whole time. How are they upset?
For us, that's concerning behavior, to be fair.
There
You
was
took the
no
two most
direction at
chaotic
all.
people and put them in a room just reading straight. I mean, that's strange.
Your ship's medic is going to come up to you and be like, Captain, I'm very glad that you're back. Before you go into your quarters, don't make any sudden movements. Try and keep your voice to a minimum decibel level. And above all else, no matter what you do, please do not ask any in-depth questions, which encompass the subjects of religion, philosophy, politics, why doors work the way they do, if water is wet, is one drop of water also wet, or is it only wet because it touches other water and therefore becomes wet? And also don't mention the words manual breathing.
What?
Talus and Leonid may have eaten some things which have left them in a state one could only call adventuring in the astral sea.
Okay, when he says this, Jacek gets that grinchy face smile and is just gonna look over to Silas and is going to very chest out Captain Stroll, swing open both of the doors and just go like really loud.
I love how you shouted ooga booga booga, but all we heard was whoop and then ooga.
Oh, it probably tried to cut me, but ooga booga booga, really loud. Yeah.
So I was gonna be like, Jacek, don't be that way, and then see all of his plans moved, and then go, oh, never mind, and just let Jacek storm in.
Leonid and Talus, do either of you have the alert feat?
Talus does. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think Talus does, but I don't.
Okay.
Ruthie did. I don't know if you saw the message, Bran, but she had to step away.
I did not. I'm gonna go down and look at message.
I feel like that's a pretty good place to call it, to be honest. Just walking in with the ooga
Yeah,
booga.
So
ooga booga
I
booga.
was going to say, because we did get started a bit late, so I was going to say anyway. Once we come back together, I do very quickly want to have Leonid. So if Talus has an alert feat, this won't affect Talus, but I do want Leonid to roll for me. I think the closest it would be, honestly, I think it would be a con save.
Oh God.
Because I want to see if Leonid. I want to see exactly how much of a scream and shriek and jump we get from this.
That is fair. Let's find out. First, don't exactly have a very great con save right now. That's an 11.
An 11. Okay, on an 11, I'm going to say no. As Jacek throws up the doors, throws up his hands, hooga booga booga booga. Leonid, you, in fact, do partially levitate off of your chair. Your eyes are snapped away from the book for a brief moment as you see Jacek and Silas there. And in that state of you just pure shock, and with Talus not even remotely phased, just like, 1 second. I think that's a good place for it. That's where we'll end it, and we'll come back at the beginning of the next session with the decision on the next place to go. Now, because we've been asked to, step away and to bring this to a bit of an early end, what I'm going to say is we'll do the MVP stuff for the session out of stream, and then we'll start the next session with letting people know who was voted as the MVP. Alrighty. Yeah, so that's where we'll leave it there. Thanks for everybody for coming to see us today. I don't really have anything major to plug at all. You know the days that we stream. I'm going to be at PAX U. You should come and see me at PAX U if I'm there. I'll put it to my party if they have anything they would like to plug briefly before we go to our end.
I'm a part of Loaded Dice Adventures on Mondays. You can check us out on Twitch, 7:30 p.m. CST. We are just on the trail of the Cult of the Elder Worm, and I think we might actually, after almost 7 years, find out why dragons have been coming back to the lands of Avenaria.
Wow.
That's literally been the tagline since we started.
Nice.
So yeah, come check it out Monday night, 7:30 p.m. on Twitch, Loaded Dice Adventures.
Go check it out, guys. It's definitely worth a watch.
Yep. Similarly, so 2 days from now, we have Welcome to the Academy. This upcoming Sunday. Here's the thing. I don't care how juicy your campaign is. Ours is juicier right now. I don't care how good anything you're watching is. This is better. The drama, the fights, the character development and growth, the nature of what is happening in this campaign right now is chef's kiss. And if you're not there, you're fucking lost.
Where else are you going to
Tough.
see a familiar with a shiv?
That is fair. The scariest thing about playing Abandon is I worry that he's a much more interesting character than Constantine, and that we're going to have a spin-off about him. So
Yeah.
Don't
You're talking about
you-
two characters. I
Don't
thought
give
there
them
was
any
the
ideas.
worry. I thought you were talking
Yeah.
about the worry of that you play a character that is way more interesting than yourself, and I'm like, oh yeah,
We-
it's
We just had 2 sessions where the party played as their familiars, and
It was like Pokemon fights.
Dan's familiar is just quite literally a raccoon with a shiv. That's the only.
Does he got a
response to
Bronx accent?
that. He actually
Yes.
fucking does. But
Yes, he does.
You might be one of the few people that gets this. Old PlayStation 2 game. Did you ever play Jack and Daxter?
Yeah.
He talks like Daxter. But anyway, that is where we are going to wrap it. Thank you very much for everyone that came to see us. That's it from my players, so that's it from me, and that's it from us. So, I've been your DM of Doom, Oops All Brands, or World Tree Quest here on Twitch and YouTube. And with me today we have had... Sorry, I realised I'm mirrored, so it kind of threw me off there, because I went to say just Dan, but I was pointing at Charlie, and it threw me off. Sorry, so Charlie 182.0, just Dan, we have Big Gilly Styles, and we also had, joining us towards the end, Ruthless Rogue. From all of us here at World Tree Quest, good night, stay safe, never trust a raccoon with a shiv, and also don't pull a finny. Good night, folks. Good night.